Hi, Tim Stingle again from Fluid Handling. Continuing on with our house control, I'd like to talk to you about the thermostats that are connected to our system. In this application, we're dealing with a 527 thermostat, which is a heating only, no floor sensor on it, just an air temperature thermostat. We're also going to talk about the 528 and the 530. First thing on these thermostats, getting them removed from their bases, pop it in the slot on the back and tip the thermostat forward and it falls right out. One of the first settings you're going to need to make to the thermostat are your dip switch settings on the back of the stat. On the dip switch setting, you're going to, if it's going to be part of a setback schedule, you're going to set the dip switch to the on position. If it's going to be part of a scene, which is the user switch, that is going to be another, you have to turn that on. If it's a cooling member, with Tekmar, the 530 is a cooling master. It's handling the air conditioning. It can, in the cooling mode, go and look at the temperature of 527 and 528 and do an average temperature reading and help even out the cooling within the home. So in this case, we have the 530 as a master, so I'm going to set my cooling member to 1. So it belongs to my cooling master number 1 stat. Then if I would have a thermal motor, a hot wax zone drive motor connected to it, I can tell it if that's on there also. So those are your 4 dip switch settings. To put the cover back on, you're simply going to latch the bottom 2 hinges and tip it up until it snaps into place and you're remounted. Now on your thermostat, it's as simple as pressing the up and down arrow to change the temperature set within the room. In this case, the minute I pressed it, in the upper right hand corner, it's showing me now that my room is set to 55 degrees. The reason that is because as the system is set up, I'm in an away mode. We're at work, I don't need it, so we turn the home down on temperature. On the face of the thermostat, if you can see in the upper right hand corner, it's showing me the outdoor air temperature, which matches the house control. When connected to the bus, connected to the 406 control, and with our 2 arrows showing we're communicating, it's going to show us the outdoor temperature on all thermostats. And it's also showing us the timer icon, which means we're using the timer now. We're in a schedule where we are set back. And it's showing me that we're in the unoccupied by showing me the moon. And it's showing us our current room temperature that we have within it. So that's your 527. The 528 thermostat is the same sequence for removing it from the base, and you have your dip switches on the back again. We have the setback in the scene, if it's a cooling member, and you can actually lock or unlock this thermostat to prevent an end user from going in and getting to some of the settings. So you will need to set your dip switches accordingly. And if you have questions on those, you can contact anybody at Fluid Handling and we can find out about your system and help you decide which ones to use. So latching the bottom and snapping it back into place. To navigate through the 528 thermostat, you're going to press the 2 buttons together at the same time and hold them. It's going to show us that our room in heating mode occupied is set to 69. If you press them and hold them again, it's going to show you where you want it at night when you're going to bed. So in this case, we turned it down to 63 degrees. Press and hold them is just going to keep walking you through. Now, if you look here, it's showing away. The away on the thermostat, when you use the user switch, and we'll get into that later on, and press the away mode, you're going on vacation, that's the setting that the thermostat will drop down to in the away mode. Here's the light. If you want to have the light on the thermostat all the time, or it can be set to 30 seconds, or it can be set to off. A lot of guys like them on, offers like a little night light in a room. And now you can display it in either Fahrenheit or Celsius. And you got to hit your timing just right. And now we're back to, this is device number 06. So up here on my bus, if it showed me that device lost as 606, this is my thermostat that went missing. And then it's showing the current, it's a 528 and it's 06. And you saw it flash where it was showing auto. It was just auto addressing itself to the control, and it stayed on 06. And again, we've got our 2 arrows. That's telling us it's communicating. If you come down to a control and you're going to see, you'll see a little warning symbol flashing. And if these arrows are gone, you lost communication to the control. So that's the 528 stat. The 530 thermostat is our heating and cooling stat. So the same applies for removing it, but you can see we've got a few more options on the back of the stat. You do have your same 4 dip switch settings. You're going to have your setback, your scene, and now you can tell it if it's the cooling master or if it's a standalone by itself with no zones associated with it. You can leave that to none, or you can lock or unlock it. This one on the 530, it's kind of cool because you can, we're controlling the cooling here. So here is your R, your Y, and your G that's going to go to your air handling unit for your air conditioning. So that is our 530 stat. And you have the same sequence for putting it back on. And on the 530 now, you're going to have mode. So right now we're into heat. If you press mode, we can turn it off. We can go to auto, which is auto changeover between heating and cooling. You can set it for cooling and back to heating. And just leaving it for a few seconds, it'll accept any changes and come back to your main screen. You can also, on the 530, you can control the fan on here. If you want to run the fan all the time, you can come down and press the fan button. Right now it's on auto. Press it again to turn it on, or auto. Those are your 2 selections for the fan. As far as the thermostat itself, raising and lowering temperatures, you've just got your up and your down arrows again. You'll have the same as the 528. If you press the 2 buttons and hold them, it'll take you through each one of the setup scenarios where you'll have the same as the 528 setting it up. For all the parameters to set up on those, they are in the manuals that come with the stats, or contact someone at Fluid Handling. We're more than happy to help you find the settings you need. So that's taking you through the thermostats we have in this application. And again, contact Fluid Handling, any questions, concerns, and we can help you out. But thank you for listening.